back with another banger. Alright guys, I'm back with another banger for you, and guys, this update is absolutely critical. We have more proof that this is definitely the Moass that we have all been waiting for. More technicals and fundamentals which paint a very clear picture of what's going on. And guys, you want to make sure that you put the bell notification on, because I drop short updates on the daily all the time with time sensitive information that you are gonna want to see. So let's go ahead and get in the charts, the data, because guys, it is definitely the squeeze. All right, just get ready. All right, I'm not financial advice, just let me show you what I got, guys. This is crazy. Again, we broke out of this 2-year downtrend, this macro downtrend, and we're in that falling wedge. Make sure you check out my previous video for all the updates and information on that. I do believe that the squeeze has started, and we already ran up to the 100-day moving average. Okay, so you see that we broke out of this wedge right here, this 2-year downtrend that we've been in since the original $72 squeeze, which is now $42 because of the reverse stock split. And as you guys can see, we ran right up to the 100-day moving average, bounced off of that, tested that, got above it, and then couldn't make it and pushed back down, and now we are finding support above this gap here. So I do think that for next week we can easily see $10 as a high, and the reason for that is because of all of the options that we have and all of the gamma that we have. So my price predictions for next week are $8 to $10, simply because of the call options and gamma that we have around these two strikes. And as you can see, the $11 and $10 area are highly concentrated, and the $8 area is highly concentrated. But even more than that is the $7 area. So I think as soon as we push the $7, we can easily see a high of $10. So that is my high for next week. My low for next week is to remain at this $6 level, but I don't think that's going to happen because we are on the threshold security list. That is guaranteed buying. They have to cover these FTDs, and anytime we have seen AMC on that threshold security list with short interest this high, okay, 2.259%, and a green weekly MACD, okay, we've seen massive run-ups. As you guys can see, we seen run-ups every time we had the green weekly MACD. Boom, boom, boom. And every time we had those run-ups, it was because we had super high short interest and we were on the threshold security list, which is now on. We are on. And the threshold security list means there is guaranteed buying. The FTDs are here, and that means there is a lot of positions that need to be finalized, need to be closed, and there is going to be guaranteed buying. Now the max pain for next week is at $6.16. That is why I said we could possibly see a low of $6 and stay around this area, because it would be most profitable for market makers. But since all of this other information is accumulating with the gamma, with the threshold security list, and also the cost of borrow skyrocketing, the official cost of borrow, now Ortex has speculative numbers of 1,000 plus, but Ortex is very speculative. This is way more accurate, and we shot up to 400% and now are chilling above 350%, about 380% cost of borrow rate, which is putting a massive amount of pressure on the shorts and causing them to pay a lot more money to hold the stock to short it and to buy the stock to short it. So this puts a massive amount of pressure on the shorts and their position. So with all of this information lined up, the threshold security list, the cost of borrow, the short interest super extremely high, the gamma that we have in the options chain, and then of course the breakout of the 2-year falling wedge, which is technical analysis. And again, this is why I use technical analysis and fundamental analysis to paint a clear picture of what's going on. If you put it all together, it's very obvious that we are going to see a massive move to the upside. And even more on the technical side, we have the Bollinger Band. So these are these light blue lines that you guys see here with this blue line in the middle, which is the 20-day moving average. That's going to tell us if it's bearish or bullish. And as you guys can see, we are above that, and we're holding above that, and the bands are getting tight. Anytime the bands get tight, that means a big move is coming. Now this is on the weekly time frame, so as you guys can see, a massive move is definitely coming. And if you look way back before we squeezed last time, do you see how the bands started to curl in on themselves? Boom, and then we squeeze, and then you see they were overextended because of everything, but you see how they still start to curl in on themselves? Boom, we see a massive move to the upside. And again, what are they doing? Starting to curl in on themselves. So again, all of the technicals of the massive breakout that we have just seen, from the 2-year macro descending falling wedge, from the Bollinger Bands getting tight, to the threshold security list, us being on there, huge cost to borrow, putting pressure on the shorts, high short interest, highest that we have seen this year and of last year. And of course, the gamma, again, it's very, very obvious that we are going to see a massive run up. So, what are my price predictions exactly for next week? Again, as I was saying, they are staying at this $6 level, which I don't think is very, very likely, but it is possible that we might need to consolidate up here, but I do think we're going to see a high of $10. So I know that's a big range, but it is between $10 to $6. So basically consolidation. I don't see next week being a red week. And I think that we could easily see a high of $10 next week. If we look at APE, APE is just simply squeezing. All right, guys. Also, we have the vote to convert AMC to, or APE into AMC, which would put APE at the same dollar as the same price as AMC. So there's an arbitrage opportunity here. And basically, APE is just squeezing. APE's going just straight up. I think APE can see a high of $5 next week very, very easily. Maybe even $8 for APE next week. The low for APE that I could possibly see is $2.50, but I think APE's just going to keep just blasting up. We're above the Bollinger Bands, which means that we are in squeeze mode. And as you guys can see, we're just rocketing above them and actually using them as support, testing them and using them as support, which means this move is going to continue. We kind of have this trend here, but it's very hard to do technicals on a squeeze. But I think APE is just in straight squeeze mode. Okay, so next week we could see extremely high highs. I don't want to get you guys too excited. Again, this is not financial advice. But shoot, I mean, we've had a lot of green days in a row, so I think we need a pullback. That would be basic technical analysis, but again, technical analysis doesn't work when you're actually squeezing. You can do some things like use these Bollinger Bands and see if you're testing the top as support or resistance, but other than that, you can't really tell. So my price predictions for APE are $5 to $8 for a high, and then a low of $2.50 for a possible low. I know that's a huge, huge range, but that's all I can really give you as far as APE as concerned. Now, if we look at the overall stock market is basically in this rising wedge that I have marked out. And these rising wedges break down when you get to the top. Again, I think that the overall stock market, the SPY, is going to go all the way up and fill this gap. And this is the SPX, the actual SPY, the official SPY. I think it's going to go all the way up and fill this gap and come to the top of this wedge, and then finally break down and test the top of this overall macro trend that it broke out of, because we did see a breakout for the SPY as well of an overall downtrend and macro trend, which is very, very bullish. I think it's going to come test that and actually make a double top from the all-time high and then come down and see massive downside. And we will see where we're at with AMC when that occurs. But right now, the market is definitely going to keep rallying up, fill this gap, and then come down and probably hit the top of that. And you guys can take that to the bank. Again, this is not financial advice, but it's very, very obvious that that's what's going to happen. It's going to fill this gap, come down, boom, and then either break it as support or use it as support and continue up, or see more downside from that point. But until then, we're going to just keep continuing up inside of this ascending triangle, which always breaks to the downside. As you guys can see, this one did so, and the stock market always makes these. You could do it here, boom, boom, and it did it. Here, you could do the same thing, boom, boom, and it did it. So as you guys can see, that's exactly what the stock market is going to do. That's my predictions. This is not financial advice, but it will support our move to the upside with AMC, and that's why I do cover the overall stock market, because if you look at the daily movement of things for AMC, when the stock market tends to pull back, we tend to pull back. When the stock market rips, we tend to rip. And that's just basic stock market technical analysis, so that's not some type of wizardry or anything like that. That's just the basics. But guys,
that is basically the video I have for you guys. Hopefully you found the video informative. I know I did. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe for more content, and as always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.
All right, guys, that's the video. Hopefully you found it informative. Again, you can check me out on Twitter and on Discord where I drop stock picks, things like that, updates, news on AMC. And I also drop short updates, so you want to make sure the bell notification is on. I do drop other content, but you guys can just ignore that if you want. But if you find it informative or interesting, go ahead and check it out. But again, hopefully you found the video informative. I know I did. If you did, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe. That really helps me out with the algo and push the video out to more people so they can see about AMC. As always, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.